What are you looking at? G'day. This is the first time I've done a bit to camera. Maybe it's just to give you guys an idea what it's like to come out, just make videos. Here we are out in Yudungabara, so just over the range in the background. In the back over there is Gigango. Down towards that way is the Dawson River. Hopefully it's not too high, we can get across it. Otherwise we'll have to go 10 k's back, a couple of k's along, then another 10 k's back in from the highway. Anyway, that was the first coal train come through. We pretty much picked that up leaving Stanwell. What I'm hoping to get is the Horizon Linfrox freight from Longreach coming back. Hopefully the green signal on the other line there, on the down line, is for it. If not, it's a coal train, either or. This is the first time I've got photos or bothered to do a video at this particular spot. Every time I come out this way, it's always an option to try and get things going over the river, along the flats, things like that, or a bit further back once it starts climbing the range. So this is a place I haven't done any photos or video before, so seems like a good spot, and we'll see what comes next. Well, that one was a bit of a rude shock. That's the train going to the inland port at Yamala out near Emerald. Might be worthwhile chasing it, might not. We'll see. Potentially it'll go into Emerald, run the locos around, back in, but we'll see. I think it might be worthwhile doing that. I think we've had enough coal trains for today. Here we are in the Lions Park in Blackwater. You see they've moved the old Blackwater railway station to this location. The new one over there was built in the 1970s. Got an old steam loco. I think it might be a C17, but someone will correct me in the comment section. We've also got an early VJM coal wagon and a bogie camp wagon. Now the irony of all this is the coal mining and the wealth and the royalties that come out of this area actually dragged Queensland out of the steam age, and especially the railways, into a new modern efficient hauler of coal. Triple-headed diesel locomotives, eventually 5 diesel locomotives with Locotrol. They were the first ones in Australia to introduce that from America. The whole central line, pretty much from Blackwater to the coast, was rebuilt, in some sections completely replaced, new alignments. Eventually, in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, the line was duplicated all the way from Blackwater to Gladstone to facilitate the increased growth. At the moment, Blackwater is sort of like a service centre, a bit of a town where people just come, they work in the mines, they domicile here, but they don't live here. In the 1960s, this place went from a population of a bit under 300 people to, by 1970, had a population of 2,500. I think the population peaked in the mid-80s, and it's pretty much declined from the 90s onwards. Not that the jobs aren't still here, the jobs are here. It's just people, mainly wives and kids, just don't want to live here. So as the highway was gradually improved, it was easy to drive to the coast and drive in and drive out to work, and that's what most people do now. So yeah, this is Blackwater. We'll duck up to the station and have a look. Off in the distance I can see a headlight of a loaded train, so we might check that out. What you can see across the road is a road train. Sometimes they use these to transport coal from mines that might not have a loader. The one in the yellow is probably going about 5 to 10 kilometres to the east up to the Jellinbar loader, where they'll unload their coal there. Might just leave this running. We'll have a look at that road train as he comes across. Rightio, this you can see an early type of coal wagon. So basically this one's got a drop bottom, but as you can see the chassis, well maybe you can't see it, the chassis and the coal hopper are not linked together. The coal hopper sits in the chassis and it's able to be lifted out. Usually if it was taken to Gladstone to be shipped, they'd take the coal onto the wharf. The crane or a derrick on the wharf or the ship's derrick would lift it up. They'd come over, drop the bottom out, unload it, place it back in the chassis, and then pick up the next one. So you probably might not be able to make out. Chassis got Australian iron and steel, Port Kembla, 9x3 inch, so it's good. Made in Australia, not many things are nowadays. I'd assume that this thing was built in 1955, judging by the year date on the bearing covers. That's really about it. Inline air hose, still got the buffer beams on it obviously, and hook and pull couplers. Maybe people can put in the comments any information they might have on them. Pretty handy little wagons. Never seen any of them when I was a kid in service. Probably the oldest wagons I've seen were the original bogie hoppers built in Japan for the Maura line. They were still in service when I was getting out and about, first starting doing this in the early 90s. But yeah, good piece of history. They have one here and they've got one at the historical village down in Gladstone as well, if you want to check it out. Rightio, the next wagon behind the coal wagon is a camp wagon. It's CWM 7134. I'm assuming that this one isn't actually a wagon, a camp wagon that people actually slept in. I'd assume this would be a maintenance one, judging by the looks in there. Potentially the diesel tank there to run a generator. So what I used to do, if you needed work done in your particular area, a gang would come along, they'd bring their own camp wagons attached to a train, they'd stick them in the nearest siding, probably closest to where the station is, so they got water, access to the pub probably, and they'd do all their work. They'd sleep, do their work in here, gangers would go out, do their stuff. They'd have any manner of tradespeople and labourers moving up and down the system in a certain area, in a district, all with their mobile homes attached to the next train heading to their destination. So just looking at this, the last reporting marks on this, it was last brake checked in 1982. So can you imagine that? People in the mid to early 80s, probably right up to the 90s, were still living and working out of these wagons. It's good that they've preserved it because it gives people an idea of, there wasn't always air-conditioned dongers at mine sites or work sites, or you couldn't jump in your car and drive 2 hours to the coast. Rightio, well the sun's starting to set, so I think I'll make a move to get home. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Just something a little bit different behind the scenes. I don't usually get in front of the camera. Let us know in the comments if you reckon I should do more of it. Not the best looking bloke, so I think I'll let the photos I take do this talking for me. So from the Dawson River here, catch you later.